you want to close the eyes, you can, but you're not required to. As always, before we dive into the work of our practice, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge that we're practicing today here on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Chinnaton peoples here in Kitchener-Waterloo. Encompass's clinic is situated on the Haldimand Tract, which includes 9.5 kilometers on either side of the Willow River. And when we gather in this space with the intention to practice yoga, we are participating in that tradition that's been passed down to us here in the West from India. And for me to put that tradition and its teachings into practice, I like to spend this moment just acknowledging my privilege, operating from a position of truthfulness in relationship to the land that I practice on. So can you feel your body getting just a little bit heavier into the earth? Sometimes our breath can really help us do that. So take a full inhale. And as you exhale, can you feel yourself just softening down? Can you extend some gratitude to yourself for making it to your mat tonight? To everybody in this space together for being a part of this community, and to the ancestral stewards of our land. One more time, take a deep, full inhale. You exhale, let something go. Over the last few weeks, Megan and I have been working in our meditations through a variety of these yogic philosophical teachings. The yamas and the niyamas are these ethical principles, the first and second limbs of the yogic ladder that yoga asks us to just consider and embody as we move throughout the world. And today I'll be talking about our niyama Saucha as we move through this meditation. There'll be portions where I ask you to maybe visualize something. And for some of us, that's easier to do than others. But know that, again, there's no way to do it wrong. You can follow along with the kind of picture that I paint, or you could just tune me out and let my voice become a little bit of a drone. Either way, just trying to stay present with the experience of being here and in this room. Using our breath as a tool to guide our attention inwards. So can you notice the next inhale lifting your chest? Can you exhale, feel the torso relax? Let's do one more like that. Breathe in, feel the rib cage lift. And exhale, feel that softening, the complexity of every breath. The world outside these days is turbulent. Feels like it's increasingly filled with uncertainty, with division, with suffering. Heavy, like no matter what, a storm is just refusing to pass. And it's here in times like this that I find that concept of Saucha, which is the yogic principle of purity, of cleanliness, of clarity, to be of use. Saucha reminds me that even in the middle of chaos, there's a way to return to, our most basic selves, what's essential, kind of cleansing of mind, of heart, of spirit. And this can start with our breath. There's a simplicity and a purity in the reliability of our breath. With each inhalation, maybe feeling a little clarity. And every exhalation, just an opportunity to let go of what might not be serving you right now. And in this way, breathing is its own metaphor for Saucha, a continuous process of taking in what nourishes us and letting go of what doesn't. So can you reflect on what might be weighing you down today? A messy or heavy feeling, maybe something personal, maybe something from the news. Knowing these feelings can build up fear, anger, doubt, accumulating in the mind. But knowing also that these emotions are natural, born from the weight of the world that we live in and our struggles to navigate that. And Saucha asks us to strive for a focus and a purity of thought, but that doesn't mean denying the reality or worry or rage that the world can provoke. But rather, Saucha asks us to acknowledge these feelings without letting them become our definition. So you might picture like you're standing in a room that's quite empty. And before you is a window. And you step a little closer, you can see this kind of muted light trying to come through the window, but the window is covered in grime and dust. But you have this cloth in hand and are determined to see what's on the other side. And you reach up and gently start to wipe away the layers of dust. And there's a satisfying streak and cleanliness that comes with every movement. And you work slowly and deliberately, circling out and out, building this little patch of clarity. And one section at a time, you begin to see through the glass. And through the window, the world beyond is brown and green, kind of trees getting ready for spring. And the sky is an orange and yellow of a sunset. And in the distance, you can see that light reflected on still water. There's a lake, its surface like a mirror. And you can feel this warmth, the sunset streaming through the window, that warmth of the sun against your cheeks, on your face. And just the thought of this warm spring evening makes you smile. And you pause in that cleaning and take a moment just to notice. You ask yourself, what thought am I holding on to that's no longer serving me? What story am I telling myself that's keeping me stuck in this place of fear or separation? Maybe that's a hard question to answer. Maybe something came right away. Whatever you notice, just letting the attention drop into that space at the top of your lungs around your heart. Can you take a breath in, feel the chest lift again. As you exhale, picture a little space, a softening around the heart. In a world that feels divided, it can be easy to put up walls, to harden, to protect ourselves with cynicism or disengagement. Saucha calls on us to soften, to purify, to make space for compassion for yourself and others. So you glance again through that window at that lake in the distance. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here. As the wind blows, the lake ripples, but as the wind settles, so too does the water. And especially at dawn and dusk, that stillness of the lake returns. And Can you start to embody some of that stillness or let your breath help you get there? One more time. Full inhale. And exhale out. And just noticing, does a stillness follow with that exhale? I'm going to offer a short mantra to close this meditation. Mantras are phrases that we repeat to help us affirm or embody a certain sentiment, and they can be a helpful way to engage with our yamas and niyamic concepts. So if you'd like, you might repeat the following phrases in your mind if they resonate with you. May I embody Saucha in my thoughts, words, and actions. May I find purity amidst confusion. May I find compassion amidst suffering. May this practice ripple outward, contributing to a world that deeply needs healing. As we let those intentions settle, can you take this moment just to observe how this portion of practice landed? Are you clenching or tight somewhere in the body, maybe in the jaw or through the belly or through the thighs or glutes? Can you relax between the temples, soften in those muscles around your eyes? Letting the lower jaw be a little heavy, unclenching the teeth. Let the tongue rest heavy in your mouth. Can you pull your attention down the front of the throat, over the collarbones, noticing again that pattern of the breath, that lift of the chest as you inhale, that softening as you exhale. When nice and slow, you might start to introduce some motion into the body. Maybe that's just moving the toes or ankles. Maybe that's wiggling the fingertips